Hello and welcome to our next edition of Lean, Learn and Grow. I'm Helen Clayton, the Managing Partner at PM+M, and I am absolutely delighted today to welcome Carole Garrett. Welcome, Carole.
Thank you.
Nice
Happy
to see
be
you.
Here, I think.
So let's kick off. Looking at you, you're a mentor, you're a role model, and you inspire many people, which I know you will hate to hear. But it all started at age 15 in a drawing office. What was that about? How did you get to that position from school?
Okay. Whilst I was at school, which I hated, I've got to say.
Okay.
It was an all-girls school. They loved hockey. I hated it. They loved typing and shorthand. Nothing wrong with typing and shorthand, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I suppose I knew that I wanted something different, but I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And I persuaded my dad if I found a job that he approved of, he would let me leave school. So I was 15 in the March, and I managed to get a job in a drawing office for North West Electricity Board.
Okay.
And it was drawing maps. So I thought, well, that sounds quite interesting, and I am a bit creative. I'll go for it. So I sent my application in. Lo and behold, I got the job. But I didn't know what a trainee draftsperson was, but was soon to find out. And I loved the job. But it wasn't just staying in a drawing office and drawing maps. So if you can imagine North West Electricity Board digging the roads up like they do, I had to go out, measure up what they were doing, sketch it on a notepad, and then come back in and put it on a proper map. And there were their records that are still their records.
Wow.
From 50 odd years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll have them all computerised now, but that's the basis of it. So that's how I started in a drawing office, and then moved on from there simply because of somebody who engaged with me.
Ah, interesting. So is that, like, if you fast forward now, I see you engaging and giving back in so many different areas with so many different people. Does that come from that first bit of engagement in you?
The guy who engaged with me was an engineer within the organisation, and I used to ask him questions. So my grandma used to call me Mrs. 40 Questions, not Mrs. 20 Questions. And I used to say, what about this, what about that, what about the other? But I was interested in equipment. So when you went out in the field and you saw equipment being used for digging or cable laying or whatever it was, I always used to ask questions. And the only person who really answered me was this particular guy.
Right.
But he, at that time, went to Burnley College for his engineering qualifications. And I was 15. He was probably only 21.
Yeah.
But he was kind of like old. He spent time with me, so I was really appreciative of it, because what he did, he encouraged me to go to college. And when I left school not because I didn't like learning, it was because I didn't want to learn what they wanted to teach me.
Yeah.
And so I then started my journey down an engineering route. Not without its difficulties.
No, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Because my friend, when we went to uni, she was one of two joining her university course in the 90s.
Yeah.
So what was that like for you?
Really, it wasn't university, it was Burnley College, and they did, at that time, mechanical engineering technicians courses.
Right.
And obviously they were all lads in the class.
Yeah.
And I went to see somebody at college and said, I think I'd really like to come on this course. And I said, I've said to people before, they look at you like you've got two heads. And really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have to think about it. So they thought about it and said, really, no, we're sorry. We don't think it's for you. Well, why is it not for me? And they used every excuse in the book not to take me on. But the last excuse was the course consisted of theoretical stuff and practical stuff in a workshop. And the last excuse was, we don't have the facilities for you in the workshop. I didn't even know what facilities meant. And they said, changing rooms and toilets for ladies. So, sorry, we can't take you on.
Yeah.
Never want to give up.
Yeah.
I come from a family of 5 kids, so you
your elbows out.
Absolutely. Never want to give up. I said, well, hang on a second. I could do something about this and make it work for me. How? And I said, well, I have a guy at work who could teach me the theory, teach me the practical, and I would do the theory here. How would that work? They didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to do with me. So in the end, I think just out of sheer determination, they gave me a try. But I think the back of the mind was, she'll go away quickly.
Yeah.
And I never did.
Good for you.
So that got me into a situation where I was doing engineering drawing, I was doing engineering practical, etc. But I couldn't have done it without this guy who was a mentor. Not that he would have known what a mentor was, and I certainly didn't know what a mentor was. It was just somebody that was helping me.
Yeah.
And I'm ever grateful for it.
Yeah. Because one of my questions was going to be, who has your mentor or mentors been? Because I think in life we do have informal and we have formal, don't we?
Yeah.
And perhaps sometimes only on reflection we realise what a part somebody played in our life.
Yeah.
So in terms of your career through, who else came along that on reflection you were like, wow, actually that was somebody that really helped me or really challenged me?
Absolutely. But this particular guy went on to work for Lucas Aerospace.
Right.
I followed into Lucas Aerospace, so he was always there. If you needed him, he was always there, and he was always very much a help. But going forward in terms of going into business, I had different people who helped me. I had bosses who were really exceptional bosses. I also had bosses that were less so. And then when I started my own business, I started with a colleague who I really respected, and you know, he acted as a coach, and he challenged. So yeah, I've had a few, and people should have a mentor or a coach because it gives a different perspective on things, and it stops you in your tracks sometimes and makes you realise you're making a mistake.
Yeah, or even just to pause and reflect on
Absolutely.
what you're planning to do to make sure actually it might still be the right thing and not a mistake, but you might want to look at it a little bit differently before you launch headlong into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Burnley College now is clearly very different to when you went. And you know, we hear and see so many amazing things, and we talked the other day just about the awards that you got involved with and a young individual that came up to you afterwards. What inspires you about the young people coming through now, and what messages are you giving them?
Well, I feel very fortunate that, you know, between 15 and whatever age it was, I had somebody that I could go to. And I feel, again, very grateful for that. But a lot of these people don't realise that they can reach out to people, and there's always somebody there to help if you know where to go. And so I just think to myself, if I can help a young person on their career path to do well, success. Because I'd like to think that if it was my son struggling and he reached out to somebody to help, that somebody would help him.
It's really powerful, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And do you see that part of your legacy?
I don't know what I see as part of my legacy, really. But yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah. And as I've got older, I've got more into assisting young people because I find it quite satisfying.
Yeah. So that tip for the college leaver, I guess, is about seeking the help, isn't it? And going and finding your personal persons that will help you on your next part of the journey. What tip would you give to an established leader, or tips?
Okay, well, it's back to a mentor, isn't it, or a coach. Have somebody that you can sound off your silly ideas with, because they might not be so silly. So in terms of a leader, it's kind of having somebody that you can trust. You can have that confidential conversation that stays between the two of you, but you get an outcome from it.
Yeah, thank you. So the British Empire Medal.
Oh dear.
And your Lifetime Achievement Award from Burnley Business Awards.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
First of all, it's shock when you realise that you're going to get something. The British Empire Medal was a real shock. I thought it was a joke at first.
Really?
When you get the envelope, which comes not from the palace.
Right.
It's gone out of my head where it comes from now, but when you get the envelope and open it and they tell you to keep everything secret, I thought, who's winding me up here? But obviously it was real. And then when you sit down and actually think about it, you think, what have I got this for? And my citation was Entrepreneurial Services in Burnley.
Yes.
So I got it for the work that I do in Burnley. But at that time, you know, I did lots, and I still do lots of pro bono work. So I not only help commercial businesses that can afford to pay me, I also do for some businesses that can't, or charities. So the recognition of doing something like that is like unbelievable, really. And going to the palace, I've met the Queen on a couple of occasions, and so down to earth, you know,
wonderful.
Really special. But the Lifetime Achievement Award is just as special, if not even more so, because that's given to you by your peer group, people who actually know you and know what you do on a day-to-day basis. So that was just as special, if not even more so.
Wow. And Burnley is everything for you, isn't it?
It is.
And why is that?
Well, when I think back at my family, my dad always said Burnley's given him what he is.
Okay.
And my dad gave back, big style. He had his own businesses, and he worked voluntary for people. And, you know, we all went along with him as kids to do things for people that were less fortunate than themselves.
Amazing.
And my dad always used to say, again, if I can just help somebody, make their life a little bit better, why shouldn't I? And so from a Burnley point of view, my dad's, you know, sort of influence is that Burnley gave me what I have. It gave me a lifestyle. It gave me a situation where I brought up 5 kids who've all done very well, thank you very much. And he was ever grateful for it.
Oh, that's a lovely story.
And so, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't have the privilege of going to university. Being the oldest of these 5 kids, I had to contribute to the finance of the family and do it quickly. I think I could have stayed on. I think they would have let me stay on at school for another 12 months. But, you know, you always were aware that we weren't desperately poor, but we didn't have a lot other than a happy family.
It's very important. So what does Carole do when she's not giving back and working and mentoring?
Trying to keep my husband busy. Give him lists that he never gets through. But I'm very fortunate that I do have a husband who understands the background that you've come from, understands some of the difficulties and the barriers that you've had to jump over. And in the time that I've been self-employed, which is 25 years now, my husband has been retired in all that time. But I couldn't do what I do if he's not there as backup. You know, I don't have to think about washing and ironing, thank goodness. I don't have to think about cooking because he's a good cook. So he gets on with doing all of that while I go to work, and it suits the both of us.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
But I love gardening.
Oh, okay.
So gardening is my passion. And
are you a real technician about it, or is it a kind of I'll try it and fly by the seat of my pants and put
Yeah.
this in here and see how it goes.
Yeah, there's a bit of that, but you know, there is a plan.
Right, okay.
It doesn't always work, but I try it. So I love gardening and I love to be outside the whole time.
Yeah.
So I like to think to myself, if I come back in another guise,
Yeah.
I'd be a forest ranger.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All weathers.
All weathers.
All weathers.
Yeah, yeah,
Impressive.
yeah.
Just before you go, please can you think of a question for our next guest and write it in the book for me, please. Bit of an on-the-spot moment pressure there for you.
Okay.
Thank you. Amazing. Amazing question. Thank you very much. Carole, it's been an absolute honour. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.